We got some breaking news, and it is bad news for the Trump campaign. They've lost at the state level and now in federal appeals court. The first story from CNBC, Trump campaign suffers new court loss in attempt to block Biden's win in Pennsylvania. I actually find this ruling to be kind of shocking. The judge basically said if someone didn't fill out their declaration form properly, that's no reason to throw their vote out. So if you don't fill out your vote properly, they're still going to count it. Far be it from me to question the knowledge and wisdom of the judges in Pennsylvania, but it is bad news for Trump. Let me tell you, man, a lot of people are saying that with every Trump loss, he gets closer and closer to the Supreme Court, where they expect to win. And that may be because, well, Trump's got allies on the Supreme Court, I guess, and he's appointed some of these justices. Maybe it's all politics. Maybe Trump said, I'll appoint you, but you better get my back when it comes to election time. Maybe not. Maybe Trump is on track to lose. I'm seeing a lot of Trump supporters and the Trump campaign themselves saying thank you to this federal judge in Pennsylvania for dismissing our case because it allows us to move much more quickly to the Supreme Court. Well, the Trump campaign filed an appeal to the Third Circuit, and that got dismissed very, very quickly for lack of standing. I'll show you the document. I'm sure the Trump campaign is going to say this is good news because it gets us to the Supreme Court. Maybe they want to lose to get to the Supreme Court so that the victory is national. We recently got a federal ruling in California that it was in the Ninth Circuit, which is the West Coast, basically, that limits to magazine size for guns was unconstitutional. Unfortunately for us, that was only the Ninth Circuit. It's not really affecting everybody else. We'll see if that makes it to SCOTUS or something like that. Or honestly, I'm not a lawyer, so maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe it's just wishful thinking on Trump's part that they're going to appeal, get to the Supreme Court, get a ruling, and then maybe negate mail-in votes or something, or maybe somehow win. Maybe they will. But I hear this a lot from these Trump supporters. And look, man, if Trump got the win initially at the state level or at the initial federal level in the trial courts, then I'm sure he'd be happy because the state would flip and he'd win. For them to be like, no, it's good we lost. We're going to SCOTUS. So, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess, but wouldn't you rather win? Look, it really just seems like Trump is losing these court battles, and his chances of winning are getting slimmer and slimmer. If you want to come to my channel and get, smoke blown up, if you know what I mean, then it's not going to happen. Now, maybe there's some deeper strategy Trump is playing at, fine, but I think too many people are starting to fall into this trust the plan mentality. People are coming at me getting angry because I asked for evidence. I don't care. And it's funny because the left still calls me a grifter. Now Trump supporters are calling me a grifter. Don't care. If it's not true, it's not true. What do you want me to do about it? I can't manufacture evidence or news stories or court case victories for Trump. CNBC is not lying when they say the Trump campaign has lost, and the AG of Pennsylvania, who is absolutely anti-Trump, is not lying when he says the Third Circuit, a federal court, has dismissed Giuliani's claim. The guy might not like Trump, but he's not making up documents and publishing them. That would be crazy. And it's a federal court that did this. Maybe these judges, they're Obama appointees. They hate Trump. They oppose Trump. Maybe that's the case. And that's why Trump knows that once he gets to SCOTUS, they're going to give him that victory. Or maybe that's just Trump's wishful thinking as well. At the state level, here's the story. They say, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court on Monday dealt the Trump campaign yet another legal loss, ruling that mail-in ballots cast in the state's presidential election can be counted even if a voter failed to completely fill out the envelope. The ruling comes on the heels of a federal judge's decision in the state that dismissed the campaign's request to block certification of votes, expected to confirm a victory there for President-elect Joe Biden. I love how they're saying they haven't confirmed the victory, but they're still calling him President-elect Joe Biden. They say President Trump's campaign has consistently lost or withdrawn court cases that have sought to reverse votes for Biden. Quote, I agree with the conclusion that no mail-in or absentee ballot should be set aside solely because the voter failed to handprint his or her name and or address on the declaration form on the ballot mailing envelope, Justice David Wecht said in a written opinion. This is breaking news. We'll see how it plays out. But then we got this from CNBC. This is from this morning. Trump appeals big loss in Pennsylvania vote case that seeks to block Biden win. Now, the Trump campaign says they want to get to the Supreme Court, so I'm sure they'll be happy that the appeal was kicked back. They say the Trump campaign's appeal of its devastating loss in federal court in Pennsylvania misspells the word president and butchers grammar. The campaign, which is seeking to reverse a projected win for Biden, asks the federal Third Circuit Court of Appeals to consider a revised lawsuit. President Trump's legal team booted the lawyer Sidney Powell from their effort after she made bizarre claims alleging a conspiracy to rig the election for Biden. Wow. Whoa. Let me slow down there. Trump did claim before that Sidney Powell was on the team. But as it turns out, it seems like she never actually signed anything with Trump, nor was getting paid or billing the Trump campaign. So you have a situation where you can technically say she was or wasn't on the team. And of course, the left or the media is going to claim she was and she got kicked out. And the Trump supporters are going to say that she never was, and they're just clarifying. Fine, whatever. That's something the media should point out. Now, interestingly, seems like this is a defeat. Josh Shapiro says Pennsylvania election update 48 hours after a blistering opinion from a federal judge denying their claims. Rudy appealed to the Third Circuit and lost again. Let me be clear, the will of the people will not be thwarted. I don't trust this guy. He's the guy, I believe it's him, who tweeted out that when all the ballots are cast, Trump will lose. Is that you knew that? Sure. Well, here's the document that has been published. They say, the foregoing appeal is summarily dismissed for lack of standing, as there is no injury in fact. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you what injury in fact actually means, but I can tell you that they say it's summarily dismissed. And that's actually kind of, dismissed on summary is like they kicked him out immediately. Like, nah. Apparently it's dated November 20th because that's when it was filed. And this is Circuit Court Judge Stefanos Bibas. We'll see what happens. I'm sure they're going to try and appeal to the Supreme Court. We'll see if the Supreme Court agrees. I have no reason to believe, as of right now, that Trump's lawsuits are going to work. I do, however, have reason to believe that there are other lawsuits and potentially enough questions being raised in key states that could jam certification. The fight is not over. All of these leftists, look, the ones that are denying reality and saying Trump lost, it's over, these people are making a huge mistake. Some of them, however, may be just trying to demoralize Trump supporters. And okay, that I understand. Convince them that there's no fight, and then there is no fight. The reality is Trump supporters aren't going to back down. They refuse to let go, and Donald Trump is going to try and win by any means necessary. Now, while I have been critical of some of the things Sidney Powell has said, some have responded that this is just a grift to try and fundraise off of Trump supporters. I don't think that's the case. Donald Trump put up $3 million for the recount in key counties in Wisconsin. He's certainly spending the money. And I think the dude really does want to win. I don't think this is all some big theater performance. Trump is fighting as hard as he can. Some big Trump supporters have said to me they don't think he's going to win. But they respect and they demand, actually, that he fight with every ounce of his being and refuse to let go. I'm no fan of what Democrats are doing. I don't want them to win. But look, I'm not talking about win in the electoral sense. It's one thing you got to understand. I'm talking about winning this war. I'm talking about the political conflict that is happening. It's not just about does Trump have the votes. It's not just about the lawsuits. It's about who's on whose side. It's about the risks people are willing to take. It's about the dirty games and the nefarious tactics. It's a battle for power. And I'm not convinced Trump can win. He does have the fact that he is the president right now, and he can probably pull out any crazy last-ditch, effort to try and declare some kind of victory. But Trump needs some kind of official document that asserts him as the victor. Maybe the Supreme Court has been lying in wait to give him just that. New Supreme Court assignments went out. Amy Coney Barrett's now overseeing Wisconsin. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is overseeing Michigan. And Alito is overseeing Pennsylvania and Clarence Thomas, Georgia. Many people have said this is evidence that, Trump is lining up his cards or whatever. Maybe. Or maybe we have 9 justices and 13 districts, and that's how the chips fell. That's about it. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you look at Bush v. Gore, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Chief Justice Roberts all aided George W. Bush in some capacity. Donald Trump then appointed John Roberts to a federal court and then to Chief Justice. So seems like there may have been some returned favors, if you know what I mean. Or it could just be birds of a feather flock together. Bush knew Roberts to be a good lawyer and said, I'm going to pick him. But I kind of think, isn't it a conflict of interest? I guess not. So maybe Donald Trump had a meeting with Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett and said, you're going to get a powerful position to shape this nation for generations to come. Relatively young justices. Are they going to get Trump's back? Could it be that Donald Trump wins with political favors? Yes. 100%. Those that think this is just a game of counting ballots, I'm sorry, are ignorant as to how this country really works. It's dirty politics all the way. And that means I wouldn't be surprised if Trump is playing dirty politics as well. I don't care. I'm not here to pretend like he's this noble warrior of, holiness. Nah. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump went to them and said, well, you get my back and, we'll see. I'm also not trying to impugn the honor, as I often say, of Amy Coney Barrett or Brett Kavanaugh. I try to avoid such, but point out maybe they're not going to do it and say, look, Trump, with respect, you lost the election. We'll see how that plays out. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes. Stick around and I will see you all shortly.